Today on Military Road in Benton. The services I provide is hair care, also hair cutting, coloring, highlights. So also take children. That this is what I do every day. We are at a new. I'm at a new shop. We also have aesthetics team, facials, eyebrows, Brazilian waxing. So everybody can get one-stop shop here. So that's what we do here.
Kara, before you get into the hair cutting world, let's start get back in the time machine and go way back.
Okay.
I guess, what was your childhood like? Where were you raised? What were some of the things that you enjoyed doing? Let's start that. Where were you raised at? Were you raised here in Arkansas, or you a transplant?
Yes, transplant from Texas, Abilene, Texas. I was raised there. My dad was Air Force and was in the Air Force for 20 years, so he retired there. I'm the oldest of 6 children. So,
wow.
Yes, my family all lives in Texas. I have no family here except, new family. So
with being in the Air Force for 20 years, how did you not get, normally you hear about people that are in the military, they get sent around a bunch, or did he work the same base all that time? Or?
Well, no, we were stationed, his first station base was Kelly Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas.
Gotcha.
So he was stationed there, and he was an MP. So he got stationed in Berlin back in '82.
Gotcha.
So we went there for 4 years.
Were you around? I guess, were you born or around then?
Yes.
Gotcha.
I was 10 years old when we got stationed in Berlin, Germany. So
was that still when the wall was up?
Yes.
Oh wow! So man, right there, that is super interesting.
Yes.
So do you remember anything of note, of report, or anything?
Well,
I don't know. 10 years old. I don't know if I was thinking about the political landscape of the world.
Well, the ladies did go. Some of the ladies that my mom knew, and even my mom went to East Berlin, but they had to have security clearance.
Wow.
Depending on what their husbands did at the time. And if it wasn't favorable, they wouldn't allow them to go.
Gotcha.
So as 10 years old and a child in Berlin was awesome. It was just different.
Do you remember anything? Is there any particular food that you can remember? Because I'm a big food guy, or foodie when it comes to world cuisine. Any food you remember that you haven't tasted since, or haven't had a chance to maybe experience since that time?
Well, there's a lot of different nationalities that live there too. So there was, Greek food.
Gotcha.
I don't think that I've tasted anything that tasted quite like that before. Gotcha. You know how they have the gyros, or whatever they're called.
The lamb, beef.
Yes.
It
doesn't taste the same.
Gotcha.
Not to me. So I don't know if it's just different there or what.
Who knows? Different spice mix could have been, or
right.
There. I used to have a pizza restaurant called DeCarlo's Italian Restaurant Pizzeria, and when I did research on pizza, there's an idea that the reason that you could get pizza, say, from one Domino's compared to a Domino's in another state would be the water source.
Right.
What kind of water are you putting in the dough? New Yorkers swear it's the water they put in there from wherever they get it is the reason that their pizza tastes so good.
But, right. From where they're at.
Yes.
From where they're from. I can get that.
Gotcha. So other than Berlin, was there anywhere else, maybe abroad, that you remember that was pretty cool to stay or live?
Well, I actually visited Denmark.
Gotcha.
I went to Tivoli Gardens. There's also, I went with my mom's friend.
Gotcha.
Because her son was too young to go. So we went on a ferry. We went to Denmark. They do have that big statue, Marble Mermaid.
Gotcha.
60 feet high. It's amazing.
Maybe in post-production we can throw the Marble Mermaid here-ish.
Right.
Awesome.
So, that was one adventure that I did with another friend of my mom's. So, I remember that just like it was yesterday. It was awesome.
How long was the ferry ride, I guess? That was the... Were we talking like several hours?
I'm
30
going to say
minutes?
probably about several hours.
Wow. On a boat in the water.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And they do have that marble mermaid because fishermen swore up and down when they came back from fishing their adventure that mermaids would guide them in.
Gotcha.
So that's what the statue is for.
You know, if you really looked at them, if we looked like, way back machine, they talked about dragons, Loch Ness monsters, and there's a lot of mythical creatures or beings they talked about, which, who knows, they could have gone extinct by now. There could have been some type of creature, Who knows, could have been a dolphin for all we know. I don't know, right?
I mean,
just something.
You just don't ever know. But the marble mermaid is absolutely amazing.
Is that, like, really tall?
It is a 60-foot stone marble statue.
Wow.
Yes. And it's right there at the bank.
Female or male mermaid?
It's a female.
Female, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. She's right into the port. She's right there.
Is it like, do they use it kind of like a lighthouse?
No.
Really? Okay.
No, she's just where the pier is, where
Gotcha.
all the ships come in. Mm-hmm.
So you were in Texas for a little while. How did you, all right, so let's say you went to high school, did all that jazz. What'd you do in your early 20s? What was when did you decide you'd like to start getting into cutting hair?
Cutting hair?
Yes.
I actually went to Texas Beauty Academy.
All right.
In Abilene, Texas. I quit 2 days before I was supposed to graduate.
Wow.
Because of different circumstances, but I ended up getting married and moving here.
Gotcha.
And so this is where I've been for the last 30 years.
So this would have been like 93, 94?
It was 94.
94
Yeah.
coming to Arkansas.
But I mean, like I said, I met my first husband. He was in the Air Force.
Gotcha.
And so he was from here. And so
was he also an MP, or was he more like he more flew planes or worked on them, or?
Actually, my ex-husband, he worked on the B-1 bombers.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but he found out that life wasn't for him.
Gotcha.
So
the military life.
Yes, and he got out and came here back to his home, and we're married several years, but now
things happen. People grow apart. That's a part of that side.
Yeah.
So, did any of your siblings follow the military that your dad sort of set forth?
No.
Did your mom? Did she work? Was she a homemaker?
She was a homemaker during that whole time.
Gotcha.
She raised us kids. I come from a whole line of military family.
Gotcha.
So my grandpa, my great grandpas, my uncles.
Was it always Air Force? They kind of picked.
It was Air Force and Army
Gotcha.
in our family.
My dad's also he was in the Air Force. That's what he used to pay for his law degree. He went to UA Monticello, did the ROTC program down there,
Yes.
and then he joined the military because he knew that he had to pay for law school some way, and the Air Force is one of those that would pay. Then I asked him why the Air Force of all the different branches.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, generally with the Air Force, they're not going to send you out on the front lines with a rifle. And I go, well, Dad, that's actually not a bad idea there. My dad's probably one of the nerdiest people I've ever met in life. His high school yearbook photo, like when you think of the white shirt, thick black rim frames, the pen protector,
Right.
that is his high school photo.
Right.
Way back in the day.
So what?
Do you have any? Do any of your siblings? Do you have anybody famous in your family, even no matter how small it might be?
Do I have anybody famous?
Famous, whether it be local celebrity in Texas, they played for some major sports team, they invented something, anything of odd fame.
No.
Gotcha. Pretty standard family, man.
Yeah, pretty standard family. I like to break into that kind of business, but I'm so shy.
Gotcha. Well, this could be the first step, right? This is kind of, this is your domain. I'm in your world now, getting a haircut. I will say, compared to your last stop, this has more of a
salon feel.
Yes, I was trying to find a really good way of saying that. Which I'm definitely not knocking the last place. The last place was unique in its own way. It reminded me of somewhere my grandpa would have taken me, right? But it was a barbershop. This is what it was supposed to be. I will say this. If you had to like go in the dictionary and do definition of an awesome barbershop,
Yes.
go to Roosters. That's what it is.
Roosters, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got animals on the walls, magazines. The only thing I was missing, I don't know if I saw it or not, he didn't have like the jar of the blue liquid with the comb in it, or the green liquid with the comb in it.
Well, I did.
Oh, yeah, see, look at that.
Yeah.
So it was there.
Yeah, it was there. It was hid.
Gotcha.
Yes. But he is amazing. He's one of my very great friends. So glad that I got to be around him. Clint Chisholm. So.
Were you doing, when you talked about your 2 days away from the hair, 2 days away from
Graduating?
Yes. Was that right out of high school?
It was, no.
Or was it kind of
It
later
was
on?
kind of later on.
Gotcha.
You know, right at that time, I just married my first husband. And it's just like, wow, okay.
So when you were, say, a teenager, what did you want to do? What did the little girls like, when I grow up, I'm going to do X, Y, Z? What was your dream?
I always wanted to be just myself.
Gotcha.
And I didn't care what I wanted to do. Like, I really didn't have a per se
a job field you wanted to get into.
I didn't have that. So.
You know, if I think back, my son asked me that a little while back, and I told him, you know, when I was your age, 7, I wanted to make video games. Which at that time I knew I couldn't like make them. I knew I had to be on a team. Like, well, I want to be the guy that like plans off like what everyone does and how the game, you know, the idea of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, I sell automobiles. In fact, if you're wanting a simple, easy buying process and don't want to feel like pulling teeth buying a vehicle, I am here to help. I have over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles and just as many new. But enough with the shameless plug. Let's go back to the story at hand. So do you feel like you're on an upward trajectory, that you're doing what you love to do, and that you're getting a chance to see people, talk to people?
Yes, for sure. I love the people that I see every day, the people that I work with. They're amazing.
Is there anybody of renown that you can think of that you get to cut their hair? Could even be a local celebrity, whether it's a politician, some news anchor.
Well, actually, Drew, he works for one of the senators or congressmen here in the state of Arkansas.
Gotcha.
And I do his hair and his dad's hair.
Awesome.
So he, is busy campaigning and doing stuff for that person. And I also, Keith Brooks is my State Farm agent.
Gotcha.
He is one of the district.
He's one of the bigger persons, isn't he? Yeah.
So, and I also know Kim Hammer, just being in the barber shop.
Gotcha. Hammer, he ran for he ran for an office. Did he win his office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I do know some.
Have you ever thought about getting into the political world yourself?
No.
Gotcha.
Good I think choice. That I'm better behind those scenes than anything as far as that, but yeah.
You got any kids, fur babies?
I have a cat.
Gotcha. Hey, they require your assistance. Well, I don't know, cats, that's sometimes questionable. Or, we their pets, because there's sometimes that they ask of us to do, to feed them. We take out their waste.
Mm-hmm.
We pet them when we want them to. So you almost wonder if the cat runs the house or if the human runs the house. Mm-hmm. How would you say your relationship with your cat is?
It is the one he runs the house.
Gotcha. Let's go.
Yeah, he does.
Was it a rescue cat? Was it a certain species that you were looking for?
Well, he is half Maine Coon and half Tabby Cat. So
gotcha.
he's big, but he's not as big.
Gotcha. Big fluffy or like just big boned?
Just big.
Gotcha.
Just kind of long and big. So he has his ways about him. He's 13 years old now.
Wow.
So he,
that's an old man.
He voices his, not happy moments.
Yes.
So it's just like a kid, when he's upset.
Do you have any hobbies that you enjoy doing? So like one of the things I do is I play video games. Well, I don't play them a lot, but I do play some video games. Do you have any hobbies that you enjoy?
I like if if I didn't have like a couple of jobs. You know, I was a waitress before I was a hairdresser.
Gotcha.
So that's an odd hobby to have.
Gotcha.
Is like waiting tables.
Yes.
I like doing stuff, you know, being around people. So
you've always sort of worked in the service industry?
Yes, I have. Just always worked, just doing my thing. And that's like awesome.
What would you say is the hardest part of working? So say maybe we have someone younger watching this at some point in life.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is the struggle of working in the service industry?
Well, the struggle is, you know, everybody has to get to know you. Like the way that you wait your tables or even, you know, do your hair services. I have different friends that do a lot of things like that. We all do different things in the hair industry and also in the restaurant world. So, as far as like just stay diligent, learn what you can from other people, because you know it's a learning process. Everything you're always learning. You can always learn from somebody, but it is hard. It is hard to get yourself out there and, you know, make your way, as I would say.
I would have to 100% agree with that one, with that whole statement there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the hard parts of really the service industry is going to come down to your interactions to work with other people. Like you made a very good point on learning what you can. At the same respect, though, there might be some old heads out there that they may try to lead you astray in a sense of, I guess, my big words of advice for any young person aspiring to get into any line of work, especially the service world: don't go find the old head that's going to poison your mind, tell you how the world's falling and nothing's good and how they hate their job. I mean, you have to make the best of every situation.
Yes.
Now, working at a gas station, it is what it is, but at the end of the day, you get to see new people every day, right? You get a chance to say hello.
But you also, if that's what you like to do, you know, you have to love what you do. I love what I do every day, you know, but it does come with a bit of having to deal with other people's bad days.
Yes.
And not just in the hair world, it's just in the hospitality world in itself.
Exactly.
I think.
I agree 100%.
So, you know, don't let somebody's bad day ruin your day, if that makes any sense. So that's what if I could talk to a young person about waiting tables, it's a hard job, but you know what? It's very rewarding at the end of the day.
It is. And I'll say, you know, even more so than financially, one of the nice things about waiting tables is you always have cash genuinely at the end of the day. So if you are, whether you're taking care of yourself or if you're responsible for other people around you, or maybe you're 17 years old, you wait tables on the weekends and you help out your parents with bills.
Yes.
I mean, you always have cash at the end of the day. And the big thing is you never know who you're going to meet in that line of work.
You can meet a lot of powerful people, you just don't know.
Yes. In fact, I worked at JJ's Truck Stop, and anybody that's familiar with Central Arkansas, they know where JJ's is.
I worked there too.
When? When'd you work? When?
Back in 2010.
Hey, this would have been the same time, Carol. No, it would have been a little after. My kids would have been born. This would have been, 2010. And no, I would have just now started taking the restaurant over. I would have done that in 12. Mm-hmm. My kids were born in 12. Anyway, so I was there like 14, 15.
Okay.
So you probably were there when the old lady still ran it.
Miss Ann?
Yeah, Miss Ann was still running it. I took over right when Miss Ann just now started stepping down. What was that one lady's name? She was the assistant manager or manager. She was there forever. She's still there. I know you know who I'm talking about. She probably hired you. Were you there as a waitress?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she would have been your boss. It would have been, who was Miss Ann's? Who was under Miss Ann?
I thought it was her sister.
Well, yeah, you know it's a family affair, brother, sister,
right.
And niece.
Because her brother, their brother ran the gas station.
Yes, Rick, I think's his name.
Rick. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Let's see.
But I haven't seen him since, so.
No, I want to say I believe Ann may have got sick at one point, or I don't want to spread any rumors. I think she just wasn't feeling her best.
Right.
And then she stepped down, and then there's a woman that hired me and then fired me, but I think she fired me just because I didn't fit her model. I was different. I was different, is what I'll say. I was different than the person she wanted at that place.
Well, I worked 12 to 8.
Gotcha.
And
Oh,
I worked
with
at
the dinner shift.
Benton Waffle House at the time, too, from 10 to 2.
Jessica Garrett, then. You worked with her forever. Well, I think
Yes.
she has a different last name now, but yeah, so I graduated with her. Well, we were in the same class.
Yes.
We should have graduated. My wife actually knows them very well, and Josh Hammond, I think, was her, I never say baby daddy, the father of her children.
Yes.
Or the dad of the children, whatever you want to say.
He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, just yeah.
I don't really know him, so.
No.
I know of him.
Yes, I'd say the same thing. I think I've probably met the guy once or twice, shook his hand once or twice, but other than that though, so have you worked anywhere? So have you ever worked anywhere super awesome, like server wise, somewhere like I don't know, just somewhere super awesome?
Super awesome?
Yeah, whether it been some super fancy restaurant in another. Well, I guess you've been in Arkansas for 30 years.
Yeah.
But well, whatever it may be.
I would think Cracker Barrel was super awesome back in the day.
Yes, the one in Bryant.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I worked there for 5 years.
So that means you had 5 gold stars. Then?
4.
Right? Four gold stars.
Yes.
You get the gold stars somehow.
Yes. It was awesome. I worked for Cliff. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he was amazing as a GM. But then, you know, things happened, and I was going to beauty school at the time, so
Gotcha.
I was doing what I needed to do as far as working. How's that look?
Looks good.
Good.
I like it. Awesome.
But yeah, it's just it's an awesome, you know, work environment at the time. You know, I guess they could do some improvements, but
Gotcha.
you know, everybody has to make their own way in the restaurant business.
Very true.
As far as that, but I mean, I'm here
Gotcha.
after being a manager at Smart Style for 12 years, so and that was corporate.
Oh, gotcha. That was a lot like a Great Clip or something like that.
Yes. So, you know, I needed to move on from there because it's not corporate anymore; it's franchise.
Gotcha.
So,
And this is individual, right? The skin bar. So so give us a taste of what is RM Skin Bar, or what's the story behind it? How long is, you know, what you know of it? Do you know how long it's been here?
well, it is owned by Raven McDaniel.
Okay. Oh, RM, gotcha.
Yes. She started, I guess a couple of years ago, maybe
Gotcha.
3. We just now moved to this location, so she was in an old location.
Gotcha.
This one, you know, is on Military Road, and the other one was on South Street.
Gotcha.
So,
If you're familiar with the old Sutherlands, you'll go towards that. You know, when you get in front of us now, flea market, take a left and look for the professional building. Took me a second to find it, but look for the professional building, you'll see RM Skin Bar. Super awesome place. Really nice decor on the inside. We may even do a walk around here in a second.
yes. But she does brows and
The
waxing.
eyelash, do you do
eyelash.
eyelash threading?
I think Karen does
Gotcha.
the eyelash
Awesome.
threading, so she knows something about that. But they do facials, Brazilian waxes.
Gotcha.
Anybody can get waxed, men, women. So we all do. I do the hair part of it, and they
Gotcha.
do the skin part of it.
Awesome.
So, and I have my own little space here. So
Maybe just take a little
it
quick
is
look
very
around.
yeah. We,
In fact, let's see if we can't do a little walk around. Kind of impromptu, right? First video, but we'll figure it out. The walk around. So this would be the vision, right? Walk through.
yes.
Wash your hair. It's not a bad little area.
Here's our little snack area. And so she has, this is an esthetician room.
What's esthetician? I have
people
to
that
say
do-
everything is very nice and
Yes.
soft, homely.
Everybody
See?
has their own individual rooms.
And they all have their own individual styles.
Yes. Styles and, of course, our you know, lobby and all that. So.
Well, today's video has been brought to you by myself. My name is Matthew Dodd, and if you're looking for a simple, easy buying process for an automobile, I can help with that. She can help with hair. We're going to find more professionals and start doing this maybe once a week or every 2 weeks. I will add some links and bios that we can get a hold of RM Skin Bar for any services. Of course, come out and see Carol for your hair cutting needs. Yay! Most importantly, if you find value in this video, share it with other people. We're just trying to build a network up of professionals here in Central Arkansas that can create more value than what they're taking from the marketplace. You'll have a great day.
Thank you.
Facebook Live, look at that.